last days of the REI anniversary sale. For those of you guys that don't know, REI has basically an annual anniversary sale where you can choose either 20% off of any full price item with a few exclusions, such as certain bikes and certain GPS devices, etc. There's a whole link that you can check out. I have it in the description. And then they also have sales where they give you roughly up to 30% off their products on sale. So this is basically the biggest sale that they have every year, once a year. And it's great because it's really time before summer vacation starts for a lot of people. The best time to purchase this stuff is typically at this sale and as soon as possible. I did a video before the sale started, and now we're just basically down to the last 2 days. The 30% off sales, and please use my link. I'm an REI affiliate. I love REI. This is why I continue to make videos about it too, because it's a win-win situation. You get to learn about some really great deals at REI, and I get a small percentage if you use my link. And I appreciate that. It doesn't cost you anything more. All right, the best things that you should get are typically things that are not typically on sale. The good news is that there are a lot more things on sale this year than in previous years that I recall. And the things that I look at typically don't have to deal with a lot of the running stuff. I used to do a lot more hiking, but things like camping. All right, there's some really great stuff on camping. The 30% off sale is typically about the REI branded things, of which there are really good REI products. They basically take a lot of the things that are being sold in the store and the good stuff, and they try to make it a little bit cheaper. And that's often what you get. And as you can see, this at 50% off that's a really good deal. Okay. So it's not just 30% off. Sometimes it's up to 50% off. Sometimes it's even more than that. But for some of the big name brand things, they often do go on sale at this price. For instance, a BioLite has this really good Fire Pit Plus that is 25% off. It has really good reviews. As you can see, there's actually 233 reviews on this thing. But this is a sale price that happens roughly a couple times a year, for example. But if you were eyeing some REI stuff, that's a great way to get cheaper discounts on it. And then also on things that are almost never on sale. So there's often a list of things that I would think about to get. And one of them, and it's because I'm cycling a lot, one of them is going to be about protecting my bike. So one thing that I often forget to get and make a list of is something like this, like the Hip Lock D1000 bike lock is $300. This is basically a super difficult to break or hack or saw into lock. And it's just about never on sale. Now would be a good time to get it because with a 20% off discount, it brings it down to $240, which is as cheap as it's going to be. Or any of these other things here that are just about never on sale. So look for those items, apply the coupon. You do need to be a member. And the membership is only $30. It lasts a lifetime. I got mine many years ago. So I have one of those low membership numbers. And, I only had to pay once for it. This was back in college. And you get to partake in these sales and some other sales that you otherwise wouldn't be able to take advantage of. So you should just factor that in. $30 for a lifetime. Okay. Worth it. Totally worth it. So in order to use that, you get 20% off coupon that is valid for one full price item on the main REI site. And then on the REI outlet side, you also get an extra 20% off. I'm going to talk more about the REI outlet side this time because the first one I did of this video was about a week ago was about the regular REI side. So here, I'm just going to take a look to see what they have going on here. Let's see, shop all REI outlet deals. I like to do a lot of cycling during the good weather conditions. And this is what I'm going to be looking at now. So let's see what we got here. So to be clear, you get an additional 20% off of the sale price on here. I had to do this second part because yesterday I wasn't feeling well. So actually today is the absolute last day for this sale. So if you have time, you should probably get right on it. There's less than, at least, I guess there's less than 12 hours left. And sometimes they end the sales a little bit earlier. I know that's the fact because I have been waiting for stuff in the cart. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I waited to the very last minute. And then when I went to check out, the discount wasn't there anymore. Again, worst case is you place the order first. Okay, just make sure you get in before midnight. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was going to talk a little bit more about the REI outlet stuff. But, a lot of times when, that really good deal of something that you want, they sell out. So if you see something in there, you should probably just add it to your cart and then order it. Now, obviously, the discount is 20% off of one item only at the outlet and one item only at the main shop. If you do see a couple of things and you do add a couple of things, which is still a pretty good deal in a lot of cases, the 20% discount applies only to the most expensive item in that category, right? You don't have to check out separately. You can check out the whole thing all together. The REI outlet and the regular REI shop will handle the discount. So you should see two separate sets of discounts at a minimum. So if you don't have anything in mind specifically to get, sometimes you just need some ideas. And I guess that's why you watch videos like this. One of the things I like to do is I like to just go in there and, for instance, and just pick a category. Okay, so let's just say I am generally looking for one of these categories. Let's just say camping gear, which is very popular during the summer, right? And then from the camping gear, you can break it down into different categories here. I know this is really basic stuff, but I think some people forget that you can break it down even further by sorting it. For whatever reason, people forget that. And then what I suggest, if you have a relatively newer computer, just make sure you view 90 things at a time. This way you have less clicking to do. And then from here, best match probably isn't going to be too helpful if you're picking a whole category by itself, unless you did a search for it. Okay. Otherwise, what I usually like to do is, either I want to see what's the newest product that was entered into the REI outlet. So this sorts it by the newest. So these are the newest things that were recently added. And actually, this gets added throughout the day. So every day, constantly, it is getting added. And there's more stuff there. And of course, they're also constantly selling out of things. So if you want to see the latest stuff since the last time you were here, you sort it by the newest and do it under the category. So you have a way to you have a way to systematically go through things, right? Now, one other popular thing to do is you can see, hey, what is everybody else buying? What are the best-selling items right now? And there's probably a good reason why. All right. For example, when I just did this, the Gregory Baltoro pack was the top selling. I don't know in terms of how long ago this thing sorts it out by, but this is the best selling thing right now. Okay. The Gregory Baltoro. I know for a fact that the Baltoro series is extremely comfortable for backpacking and hiking. It is really good. And I know this because I actually bought one and used it for a really good long backpacking trip. I think it was roughly about a week long and is super comfortable. It's not the lightest. And the reason why I got rid of it is because I don't do those week-long backpack trips anymore. And it was just too heavy for the light camping backpacking trips I do. This is really full on. You carry all the stuff you need for a whole week out backpacking. At least that's what I did. Where you don't see civilization, you don't really see people. You're just out there with the animals. And that's actually packing light, I think, if I recall. Okay, so you have your tent, you have your stove, you got your stuff to treat the water, you got your clothing, all of that, and that all fits in the Gregory Baltoro 65. 75 would probably be a little bit too big for me, but I'm only 5'7". So you sort either by best selling. One other favorite thing I like to do is by percentage off. So you can see what are the biggest discounts in this category. And here, as you can see, it makes sense that the face masks are on the biggest discounts because when, at the peak of COVID, these things are really hard to find and people are making I say companies are making good, decent profit by listing them at $15 and $20 when really frankly, it shouldn't be that expensive, but that's just the way things are, right? Supply and demand. So this is another good way to sort it out. This is one of the other ways that I do like to sort things out. So the more precise you can sort it out, the better you can find the deals that you want. Unfortunately, just because you see that it is available on here listed doesn't mean that it is available. Okay. But sometimes it is available and you just got to check it a little bit later. Because what happens is when someone goes in here and they add it to the cart, it temporarily reserves that item for the person. And keep in mind, there could be a lot of people doing that. And then they will release it after a period of time. This way, I guess it's really whoever first added it to their cart first served, in a sense, up to a certain extent. I'm not sure how long they reserve it for, but I know that to be the case because sometimes it stays in the cart. And when it's in a cart, it just removes that inventory to be available to purchase. But it just says unavailable, okay? And then you can just put your email in there to be notified when it becomes available. And sometimes later you will get a notice that it is or it has become available again. So that's another way to do that. Now, as I said before, or in the past, you'll notice that I do a lot of cycling stuff and biking stuff. And during summer, it's really one of the best times to bike up around here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So this is one of those things that I'll go through and I'll look. Of course, I'm very interested in the bikes. And of course, I'm curious what the best selling ones are. And it looks like the GT series. And it makes sense because look, it's 25% off. You get an additional discount of 20%. In many cases. On the REI sale, though, the anniversary discount, sometimes it doesn't apply. So here's where the terms and exclusions are. Let's see. Discounts not valid on bicycles. So unfortunately, the 25% off is the most that you can get on that. You don't get an additional 25% off. So it doesn't apply for bicycles, bike simulators, skis, ski boots or ski bindings, snowboards, snowboard boots, snowboard bindings, kayaks, canoes, paddleboards, rafts, any item with GPS technology. Fitness trackers, personal locator beacons, avalanche transceivers, airbag products. Interesting. And certain select brands never really go on discount unless it is included in the discount already. It just means that you don't get an additional discount on stop. And so what you're looking for is prices ending in 73 cents. So let's go back in here. You know what? Most of these don't really say that, okay? But these are all coupon eligible. If you go to this link, you can see that, okay, I'll just have the link on the screen. These are all the ones that are coupon eligible at the REI outlet. And then I'll have a link that shows all the ones, all the ones that shop REI. I guess that makes sense. This way it makes it a lot easier for you to go ahead and see. And Yeti used to be one of those brands that the discounts didn't apply to, but I guess they have succumbed to the discount thing, which is great for all of us because Yeti products are great, but they're also very expensive. And so expensive, in fact, that I haven't even got a chance. I don't even consider buying most Yeti products when there's cheaper ones that are decent or good enough. Sometimes you don't need something that lasts a lifetime. You just need something to last the period of time that you think you're going to need it for. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go back in here. And I'm going to do what I said and look at the cycling category again, go back to biking. And I'm curious what the highest percentage off items are. It's usually clothing, accessories, because the markups on there are typically the highest. Yeah, as you can see, it's mostly clothing and accessories, usually, unless there's only a little bit left. Now, I got these. Thankfully, I haven't had a chance to try them out yet. But basically, if you are in a sport where you might fall off the bike, so basically heavy mountain biking, or in my case, not heavy mountain biking, but basically on the scooter that I can go up to 40 miles per hour in, falling at 20 miles per hour is bad enough. At 40, it's going to really hurt and you could break a few things. So having elbow pads on is a good idea if you even think that you're going to be going that fast. Now, I typically don't. I like the zoom feeling, And typically, if there are just basically, if I see any cars around or anywhere, I just stick to the lower speeds. It's just not worth it, rather than putting on all this gear. Hats off to you guys that do this every day. I put on that gear. I see some of you guys riding around in the SF Bay Area, and some of you have a lot of the protective gear on. Unfortunately, some don't. I see a lot of people with the one single wheel, super fast. I don't even know what you call those things. The one wheel scooters, and they do have them on. So that's really good. They probably learned their lesson early on, or they know better. You're a little bit smart, right? You got the right helmet on. Yes, so this is oftentimes a lot of things the way I sort, but I am not looking for these type of things. In fact, specifically, I am looking for things that are typically not on sale, and that is Brompton accessories, and I have actually looked to see that they typically don't have them in stock. The Brompton Toolkit is probably a good one to get right now because you get 20% off. That would make it a pretty good deal because that is almost never on sale. So the Brompton Toolkit is not a bad idea. But like any of these other things, see, these things typically are definitely not on sale. This is why I did a couple of videos in the past when I found some Brompton accessories and bikes actually being on sale. For instance, this one, the C-Line Explorer Black Edition, this is my edition of the folding bike and is already on sale, and I can't get an additional discount on top of that one. So I see that these two are still on sale. I do like it. I do recommend it. I think it's great for commuting or just for carrying around the bike in the back of your car. I think that's fantastic. But now I'm looking for ways to carry stuff on the bike, and it looks like maybe I'll just have to try some of these other Brompton ones and just give it a shot and try it out. And if it doesn't work out, of course, what's great about REI is the fact that I can return it if I'm not satisfied with it. Now, there is one caveat about that. Please, when you figure out that it's not going to work out for you, please return it sooner rather than later. Think about it as a business. They have the right to deny your return if it looks like you obviously overused it or used it and you try to return it on the very last day. It's up to the manager whether or not they want to accept a return, but please don't do that. That messes it up for the rest of us. In fact, REI used to be one of those few brands that actually had a lifetime return policy, meaning it was not time limited. And of course, in recent years, I think within the last 5 or 6 years, they had to cancel that because a lot of people were abusing this special guarantee. So now it's only 1 year for most products. And apparently, I just found out not too long ago for GPS products or certain electronics, it's only 90 days. And I guess that makes sense because electronics prices, they go down pretty quickly. 90 days is a really long time for an electronic item in terms of like lifespan before they replace it. I think one thing that I'm going to get here is probably this. What happened is I got too small of a size. Apparently I'm an extra large now. So I'm going to pick up an extra large version of this in a different color. And this is what I'm going to choose for my REI outlet item. Yeah, I believe this is on this REI outlet item. So here we go. So I'm going to do the algae botanical. Oh no, I'm going to do the granite/black. I only pick one. If I add 2 of them, I only get discount on 1 of them. And frankly, I don't know which one that would be. I guess this one's more visible, but yeah, I'm going to stick with the black one. Okay, that is my choice for the REI outlet item. And then for the REI item, I'm not sure yet. I actually was thinking about, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna take a look at the cycling items again. Once again, I'm gonna go the REI stuff because cycling is pretty much the thing I like to do. I actually purchased a lot of camping gear in the past. We went on a huge camping trip last year, and we ended up only camping a couple of nights last year. And that was because 1, the weather was really difficult. And 2, we were doing a drive up the Pacific Northwest. And that was really challenging. We should have it was way too hot. And if you recall, there were actually a lot of fires in California going on at the time. So that really messed up our camping trip at that time. And then I did a whole biking trip all the way down from the San Francisco Bay Area down towards LA, of which we called it quits because we ran out of time. I called it quits over at Morro Bay or around San Luis Obispo for my partner Lawrence, my biking partner Lawrence. And we only did one night of camping, on the bike camping on the trip. The rest we did the hotels. We were on electric bikes, so we really needed a chance to charge up the bikes. And at that camping spot, we actually did get it. Oh, look, here's a whole different category here called cycling deals. They don't always show that. I guess at the anniversary, they just made it a little bit easier so you can see exactly what other things are already on sale. For these items that you already saved 20% off, I don't believe the extra 20% off applies. I don't believe so. I think you already saved the 25%. So the 20% off is on the full price items. There are 1,208 items here. So I am going to sort it by, I'll just take a look at this, see what's best selling right now. Interesting is the Dirt 1.1 mountain bike. And yeah, that is a killer deal. I mentioned this before the sale even started, and back then it was an even better deal. Yeah, back then it was even better deal because they actually gave you, look, 102 people purchased that today. Yeah, it's still a really good deal, but it was an even better deal the last time when I shared this video. I think it was just last month, where they actually gave you 1,000, like a special helmet that was worth $70, and that is not included now. It's still a good deal. I don't want to discount that fact, and it's going to get a lot of people outside biking. So I think that's a really good deal. And what's surprising to me is the second best selling item is the City E1.1 electric bike. I tested the 1.2 with my brother Jim in the parking lot, and it is smooth. It really is. This one right here, $2,158. It was smooth, and I would recommend it for just around the city riding. It does have a maximum speed of 20 miles per hour. It's just the same thing as City 1.1. The difference between the two of these is I believe you get a higher capacity battery on here. As you can see, you also get the rack. And I know that this one has the hydraulic disc brakes on here, but really you get more torque out of this. So you get bigger battery, more torque, basically more power out of the motor. So if you want a little bit more power, it's basically like horsepower. But still the maximum speed you get out of it is 20 miles per hour assisted, right? So this makes it a Class 2 e-bike. And looks like the only sizes available are small and medium. And you don't get an additional discount on top of that. That's already a pretty good discounted price. But yeah, it's great. $1,000 versus $2,000. This really does make this a much better deal. I can see why. The Thule T2 Pro XTR is a very good bike hitch rack. I like it. It's very heavy though, not very portable in terms of carrying around, but this has integrated wheels. I had this for a period of time, and I did enjoy it. It is big and bulky, and you can expand it up to 4 bikes because this is a really hefty thing. And it is not always on sale, so right now is actually a good time to get this Thule rack for the bike. But if you add the add-on, I believe it's also on sale right now, so you can bring on all 4 bikes. Keep in mind that this is not really super great for e-bikes. I think it will do a maximum of 62 pounds, I believe. Let me see. Oh, it's unavailable, so it's sold out. Yeah, you really got to jump on these. So it will do fat tire bikes. I remember that. Okay, so it will do as long as the total load capacity for the 2-inch version, not the 1.25-inch version, is 120 pounds. So yeah, a lot of e-bikes will work. It's up to 60 pounds with 0 frame contact. That's one of the good things about this particular one, is that you can make it such that it doesn't touch your frame. And a lot of people are really picky about that because the frame's one of the most, if not the most expensive part of the bike. And yeah, I was successfully able to put on some nice bikes on here. I got rid of it because there was a period of time where I wasn't biking or using it, and it was still practically new. In the end, I got the Thule, I got this one, the Easy Fold XT, and I still use it. and it does carry my fat tire Aventon bike. And I do recommend this one. This is good. It's more expensive. It's a little bit more premium, but it's not as expandable. And it's also a lot more compact, so it doesn't take up more space. This is the one that I use. But yeah, I'm really surprised that in this cycling category, I'm surprised by the amount of bikes that are selling. The 1.1 and the 1.2, I think, are really good general purpose bikes to have. And as you can see, it's pretty popular sale right now for it going on. And I haven't test ridden it. I'll just say that. And if I were to go in to get one of these, I would probably get the 1.2 because it's got the bigger battery. And just having a little bit more range is good. But what's interesting is these bikes, they're selling a lot more of these bikes than I thought they would. The Ortliebs, okay, you know what? I think maybe I will get one of these Ortliebs back roller classic panniers. These are basically bulletproof, and they're pretty much the standard. So I think this is one of the things I'm going to choose to get. Interesting that the Brompton is actually outselling. You know why? Because it is 20% off. This is not often on sale all the time. Now's the season for it. I have these pants. They're really good. They were really expensive, and it includes a liner. What's been a little bit shady is I've been to some of these garage sales, and they get returned without the liner. The liner itself is worth like $50 separately, I think, or they sell it $50 separately, which is what brings the whole price up to $110. So that's pretty shady of some of you guys. Not you guys, the viewers, but that's pretty shady of these people that have returned it without the liner. And that's messed up. Interesting that most of these things are bikes that are on sale. That's great. That means they're doing well. I'm always happy when I see more bicyclists out on the road because it helps everyone. Get on a bike, guys. Get on a bike. It helps everyone. It helps yourself. There's less traffic congestion. There's definitely going to be more smiles all around as more people are bicycling. And it's typically better for your health unless you get run over by people. But with more bicyclists being around, more people are more aware that bicyclists are around. It's just better overall for everybody, the environment, your health overall. Okay. So I still haven't decided what I might get on the cycling deals on here. I thought about trying another one of these bikes, but I actually have a backlog of one more e-bike that I need to do a review of, which I got sent over from Engway. Engway is an e-bike company. And yeah, you know what? Maybe I will get one of these REI city bikes to test out and do a video on. Brook Saddle, 25% off is a good deal. You know what? I could use a good bike pump. The ones that I use right now are either the portable ones, which you only use during an emergency, and then the electric ones, which you don't always have electricity with you. Now, I will say this about these bike pumps. When I went on that one trip last year in October, which was with Lawrence, my friend Lawrence, going down to LA, I ran over some sort of industrial stapler, which ended up going into the rear tire of my fat electric Aventon bike. And that messed us up for a good hour plus, like an hour and a half. That was really challenging to do out in the field. And it would have been 2 hours or more because it was going to be very difficult to pump with my emergency pump. It's a fat tire with a lot of volume, and we were already tired. I was already tired on that first day. This happened on the very first day of our trip, so we did not get as far as we wanted to get to. I think we only got down to Santa Cruz. It was my first day, his second day. He biked down from Hayward down to Santa Cruz, and I met him up, not Santa Cruz. He biked from Hayward down to San Jose, and I met up with him over in, I want to say Saratoga, and then anyway. So, electric bike with a fat tire. I would get a portable small electric pump. I don't remember the brand that he had, but generally you can just get a small electric pump. But using around the house, I think, or having in a shop, getting a bike floor pump makes sense. $44.89. That's not bad, 25% off. So maybe I'll do that. I already recently got a REI Junction cycling rain jacket. And what's funny is after I got it, it stopped raining. So I don't know. So I haven't really had a good chance to really give this a shot and try it out yet. But I believe it was also, I got it during that bike sale, so it was like 30% off as well. And I will say that the value is good there. However, the Sugoi, I believe that's how you say it, turns out to be more fluorescent. And I like the material on the Sugoi a bit more. I guess it could be personal preference. And I think the waterproofness is going to be roughly the same. The Sugoi is a little bit stiffer. This is a 2.5 layer windproof, waterproof, breathable. So I guess it will do the job. It's 2.5 layers. I think both of them are pretty comparable in terms of the specifications. But for me, I felt like the Sugoi felt better, but I don't know if it was like 60, 70% better, because that's how much the price difference was. So that just shows you a little bit more about what I think a lot of times, sometimes in terms of the REI branded products and then the category leader, the category brand, is the category brand is oftentimes way more expensive, whereas the REI one just is not typically as good for the price. Typically, no, it's typically better for the price, but a lot cheaper. And therein is the reason why I end up getting the REI version in a lot of cases. And I've tried both, right, side by side, and I just return one of them. And, you know, I try to do that straight up ahead of time or when I get a chance to. So, for instance, if it was raining, I would do that. I think these were pretty good. These are smaller, obviously for gravel packing. I put these in the front of my bike, and they were decent. I did use it for mess kits. I put my stoves and everything in there. And you know what? They actually lasted pretty well. They did a good job for me. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing any gravel packing or any more bike touring, so I haven't had a chance to use them again. But I would recommend them. They're good. That was just the first page. That was the first 90 items. There's 1,200 some items in here. Okay, so another category that I need to do or need to look at under cycling deals is bike safety equipment. And for that, I'm going to see that must be under bike accessories. And then that would be bike locks. So I need to keep them safe and I need to make it visible at night. So I want to just take a quick look to see what we have going on here and what's on sale. Looks like a lot of good stuff is on sale, at least 25% off. The Cycle Light Hot Shot is a super bright rear bike light. I've done a video about it, super popular video on YouTube, and I would recommend it for a lot of people. Unfortunately, one area where I wouldn't recommend at least the hot shot, the highest power hot shots, is that it is so bright it could be blinding. And it would not be appropriate to use at the brightest setting if you are all riding in a, if you are riding in a peloton, basically a group of riders, because this will blind a person behind you. It should be the person that is using, oh, look at this one, 350 lumens. That would be absolutely ridiculous if you were right in the way of the flashing. Yeah. But $44.89. That's not bad. So if there were cars behind you, I would say, yeah, go ahead and do that. If you have someone that's riding right behind you, I think the one that I have, one of these that I had was what was called the Hot Shot. I did a video. I had it years ago. Did a video many years ago. It's been a good decade. It still works. And it actually looks more like this one, Hot Shot SL50, but I think it was a higher lumen capacity. So these are great if you're out there biking by yourself, or just you don't have someone directly behind you riding, you don't want to blind them, get something that is just a little bit more for visibility, so you don't need something that bright, for instance. I think 50 lumens okay. A brand that I used to get before was Planet Bike, and I guess REI doesn't carry them anymore. Okay, so those are some of what the safety lights are on sale. Bike locks, just keep in mind that when you get one, it depends on your neighborhood. If it's a high theft area, get the most expensive one that you will be willing to carry around. And if not, you're just trying to keep honest people honest, then you can go a little bit cheaper. I would stick with the newer kryptonite stuff. Don't buy used kryptonite, old stuff from before. So, if you didn't know, the old ones that were the round type of key, if your cylinder was round, people used to use a big key, a big pen to open them. You could just get a cheap big pen for like less than $1, take the ball point part off, stick it in there, turn it, and you would be able to unlock a kryptonite lock. So don't buy an old one off of eBay of that, because that is something that is really easy to hack with a big key. These new ones have a much more different key, and I don't think they, oh, here we go. So they look a little bit more like this. So only get the type that are like this, because these are going to be harder to pick than the big lock version. And yeah, I would stick with one of the beefier ones. These cables are good only for maybe helping to secure your bike seat, maybe, or your front tire if you need to, if you got one of those quick release things. It just helps keep honest people honest. But honestly, with these things, you just get a cable cutter and you can cut them, snip them off. So I don't even use one, honestly. So I have a New York forget about it lock I carry, and I also use this one. This one right here, the Kryptonite Evolution 1090 integrated chain lock, is also the one that I found out that the lockpicking lawyer uses. I don't remember if it was because of him that I went and got it. It could be. Could very well be. The lockpicking lawyer can pick all these locks in seconds. But this is the one that he chose. So I went with it too. I figure if he's good with it and he's okay with it and his bike, then it should be okay with me. And I don't ride a really fancy bike around in any high theft areas. So unfortunately, it's unavailable. With a lot of these things, you really want to jump on it really early on. But I will probably get one of these other flex locks things just to put around my bike seat. In Sunnyvale, it's not a high theft bike area. At least the areas that I go to. I've noticed some people use a lot cheaper locks than I do. But, it's better to be safe than sorry. And I also have something called okay, let me look it up. I found it not at REI. Let me see if they have it here. No, they don't have it here. So there is a Nog bike alarm. KNOG bike alarm. It's called the Scout, and it's $60. Yeah. So this has a built-in AirTag, and it also has an audible alarm, and I got it. No one has attempted to steal from me yet, so I really don't know how well it works, but it has an 85 decibel audio alarm, so it just gives me a little bit of peace. So I have at least 2 AirTags on my Brompton right now. One of them is the Nog, and the other one is a regular Apple AirTag. Yeah, and they don't have it here. Okay, so another thing that I could use are some bike tools. I'm just going to do a quick search on, oops. Bike tools. I have a wide variety of ones that I use for traveling. And I got the Brompton kit, unfortunately, because I added a Switch. Let's see, a Switch electric bike kit. It now has changed my front tire, my front wheel, to be a different set. So now I'm going to have to carry a separate wrench to hold that. But I would like a full-on set to use basically at the house. And, okay. So here's one of the things with the 20% off discount. So some things they are not going to sell, like cheaper than 20%. So what they will do, or what the brands will do, is they'll tell REI, hey, look, we'll give a 15% off maximum discount on this already. So for this, for instance, the Feedback Sports Team Edition Toolkit is 15% off. I honestly don't know if it's any good. It must be pretty decent because it's got 4.5 stars, 8 reviews, kind of expensive, is being sold at REI. Can't really be a bad thing. But because they put down that you save 15% off of it, the 20% coupon does not override this. So the most you will get is 15% off at this time. This is interesting. 39 people viewed it today. I guess I'm number 39 or number 40. And this will pretty much have a good part of what you might need to do your own home bike maintenance. Yeah, so I'm going to add this to my cart here. And I guess I should do a video about this. Just see the quality. It's really hard to say in terms of the quality without seeing it in person. This is why I like YouTube videos that share stuff like this. I know that a lot of bike mechanics use Park Tool items. Let's see if there's any of that on sale. Yeah, Park Tool items. And they do often carry a lot of them on sale too. Now, obviously, they get a significant discount as a dealer or bike mechanic on it. At least that's my guess. They're not going to pay retail for this necessarily. Or I could, okay, so for instance, I could potentially get a better deal on this. Okay, I get an additional 20% off. So I'm going to have to compare the two of these things. So $339.95, right? And then 20% off of that brings it down to, so you don't get an additional 10% back as a member. You just get 20% off total. So basically, I would get $68, save $68 on this one, which would then bring it down pretty close in line with the other one that I added. So for me personally, I think that it's better off if I get the Park Tool version because that's what I see a lot of the bike mechanics people use. So I think that might be it. That might be the kit. Let me see if there's a bigger one to try. Let's see, Park Tool. And then I'm going to sort by the most expensive item. Oh, here we go. Ooh, professional toolkit. That is $939. I am not a pro. This is going to have everything. It's pretty much going to have everything. More than 90 professional level shop tools. Now, it might just be me, but I think that this was at a regular price at $700 some. Okay, maybe not regular price, but I think at some point, I remember looking back at these professional toolkits. And I remember it was only about $700 some back then. Maybe that was also the sale price. So let's do a quick search here. And I think it's just inflation. Okay. So let me just do a quick check here. So $939.95. Yeah, $751. Okay. So it's roughly the same as a sale price that I've seen it, or at least as low as I've seen it before. And that's for their professional toolkit. Now, I know that they have an even more expensive one that basically captures everything. But yeah, they do have a good variety. Maybe everything is in here. But see, a kit like this is going to be like you're really taking apart the bike. Like everything. I haven't gotten to that far. I'm not a bike mechanic. If I did want to become a bike mechanic, this would probably be one of the most. Let me see. Park Tool. Let me just do a quick Park Tool. Let's do a quick search here. Let's see. Official Park Tool website. Cool. They must have an even bigger set. Oh, look at that. Okay, so it's going to be the Master Toolkit, MK16. And the one that is here is the PK5, the Professional Toolkit. Look at this. Jeez. Like, wow. 10 grand. Okay, so this is probably what a bike shop needs to run a bike shop. Have everything that you need. This is the Master Toolkit. 10 grand. Wow. Yeah, this is something that they're just not going to list on REI. This is not. And look, it's out of stock, and probably because there's different bits and pieces in here missing. My God, 10 grand. Wow. I honestly wouldn't have guessed that it would cost 10 grand to have all the tools. Most of the times when you get a bike, all you need are a handful of the tools because it comes mostly assembled. If you really need to do a full overhaul, I guess that's what you need, the 10 grand kit. And come with all these things. I don't even know if there's okay, you know what? Maybe they have a list of it and you can build it yourself. Piecemeal by piecemeal because, wow, 10 grand. Okay, toolkit. Toolkit contents are subject to change. So you can't even rely on a list for this. Here we go. 2023. Oh, here we go. Here's the list. But it's subject to change. All right. I think I think for me, maybe for most people, the professional travel and event kit makes the most sense. $989. I wonder how that compares with the PK professional toolkit. Oh, you know what? One doesn't have so this has 88 specialty tools. This one has a case and probably has less stuff, 56 professional level tools, but with a case. So when you are traveling, most of the things that break down are going to be in this kit. Unfortunately, this kit is not specifically on sale here at REI, nor have I seen it in a while. They have an advanced kit, but yeah, the pro kit. Oh, here we go. Wait, this is just a tool case, right? The tool case itself is $300. I guess this makes sense. Make sure that you have a good set made specifically to hold your bike tools. I have a lot to learn about bike maintenance. For now, I just go REI or a local bike shop to get things done, even though I haven't done it in a while, because I don't wreck my bikes, at least not yet. Knock on wood. But there are a lot of varieties on here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and choose a nice toolkit, and I'm going to have to sit down and take a quick look and see what is an AK5 version versus the PK5 version. So I think that's what I'm getting. I usually try to, during one of these sales, I don't like to go too crazy with it. I just like to pick one category, and this way I can take advantage of that discount on top of the other stuff. So the things that aren't on sale typically are like what I just pointed out, the park tool stuff, the unique things. And I just need to make sure that the coupon applies for that. Okay. So this, if you have been watching this with me, thank you for doing that. Please use my affiliate link. And if you are, let me know what kind of stuff that you have picked up at REI. And if you can, let me know what you liked about it and whether or not it was worthwhile. And I'm also curious whether or not if you got something that you seriously regret. And it's fine because you can return it. You have a year. And let me know. I'm really curious what you guys pick out there. Okay, so that's it for this video for now. And I'm just going to take a little break, and I'm going to come back and finish with the checkout and take advantage of the sale. You should take advantage of the sale and go outside. Please give us a like, subscribe for more. Catch you next one. Thank you for watching.